placed in the table for this time of the year, within that top 6. The big question is, where will they be at the end of the season? They look pretty good so far.
They have looked really good so far, and again, it would be the warning sign for me if you were a player against Manchester United would be they're starting to look that they've rediscovered their form, that they've had a couple of match days with their squad, and now they've got comfortable with it. And on the flip side, as we alluded to earlier on, with Arsenal, if they can get Austriabutch firing, I know we're going to see Austriabutch later on, but if we can get Austriabutch firing, Arsenal themselves will become a force in this competition. That's what's so delicate about this competition is that it's going to be moments that will create carnage for either one of these teams. It could be, you could be staring, as we saw from Roxa's game in Matchday 2, you could be looking at, a point and 1 goal and 1 second of gameplay. You're now all of a sudden looking at 3 points. You've took it away from the other team. So this is why it's so delicately balanced here between these two teams.
Well, we're still moments away from kick-off. Obviously, big thank you to our referees on the stage, making sure all the rules are being abided by, of course. You can let us know in the YouTube chat, who do you think is going to win in this English derby? And of course, we all want to know who is going to be taking that home at the end of the season. It's one nice piece of silverware, isn't it? It's very, very beautiful.
It's a nice bit of kit, it really is. Certainly you're seeing it up close, you really do get an idea of the magnitude of what these guys are playing for. And just to your point about where are we going to be towards the end of the season, of course, if we talk about format, after the regular season's finished, we then go to best of 3 knockout football. And as you know, for those viewers at home, if you've watched the eFootball Championship Pro before, or if you've watched regular in real life football before, knockout football is a completely different beast, and it is a completely different thing to play against.
Absolutely it is. We saw a shot of Indominator there. He looks very relaxed, very calm up on the stage. Oftentimes you'll see these players when they're up first, opening the show, they'll be a little bit nervy, a little bit tentative. But one thing I picked up from Indominator's interview last match day, he said something that intrigued me. He does enjoy playing against French players. I wonder if you can give me a little bit of insight as to why that is.
Well, it's the particular nations have particular play styles. So in the sense of, in terms of French players, they tend to kind of give you a little bit more space than what because of the attacking threat that they like to possess. The likes of Usmakabel, the likes of Cams, the likes of the players that you see represent Manchester United here. They have that ability to attack at will. But for a player like Indominator, you leave spaces behind. And if you can retrieve the ball and get it going in transition, you're going to cause problems. So that pretty much spoke to me as I like to have a lot of space to play, which is exactly what we see from the likes of Indominator.
Well, as you can see, the players ready. Their lineups are locked and loaded. Match day 3 of the eFootball Championship Pro 2023 season is about to kick off. It is Manchester United versus Arsenal. Indominator for the Gunners. Killszu for the Red Devils. Do not blink. This could be a very fun-filled affair indeed, Wes.
It certainly could, but in terms of the way that you see, it just tends to be starting out. You want the ball. You want to keep the ball away from Dominator as long as humanly possible. But of course, you need to get it back from him first and foremost. So again, he will like to keep the hold of the ball, and Killszu will like to try and counter-attack.
Sancho looking to set a player free on that far side. It's an interesting point you note. One of those players that does like to control the ball a lot in Dominator. This Arsenal side often very well suited to his play style. Good closing down though by Manchester United here in the opening 10, but that's given away slightly lazily, and now Saka might have a bit of room to run into here. Into the feet of Jesus. Partey back to Emil Smith-Rowe, but cut out by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Defensive work pretty solid, taking no risks so far in Indominator.
Yeah, you can just see him just trying to feed his way into the game, but again, whenever Killszu retrieves that ball, he's wanting to attack.
An attacking shell here, Sabitzer. Shot blocked by Ben White. There'll be a corner on this near side.
Yeah, you can see there, the minute he picks the ball up, he's just looking to go forward. And again, really good defensive challenge there. Takes the ball away for a corner.
What tricks are up Killszu's sleeve here? Varana's the target, knocked down to Rashford. That was very dangerous. Still alive here as well, but the shot is not very pretty in the end.
It's more out of hope than expectation, that strike there. I mean, you can see the kind of the wheels turning in the mind there of Killszu to try and get something going, aim for Varane and maybe get a flick on, maybe get a lucky bounce here or there. Doesn't quite get the purchase on the shot and goes out for a goal kick.
Just ticked over the 15-minute mark. I think I saw the general consensus. 51% of people in the chat think Manchester United might take this one. Watch out for Arsenal, though, as Martinelli, his shot's blocked. Can't connect with Saka either. Just 1% splitting the two clubs, though.
Well, such is the delicate nature of this tie and how close it is.
Lovely double touch there by Bruno Fernandes. Goes round his man. Martial is in the box here, crossing to Sabitzer, but cleared well. To the feet of Martial now. What can he conjure up? It's Killszu looking to try and turn the cogs here. Sabitzer with his shot can't get there before the Arsenal defence. And now, well, is there a counter on, I wonder? Smith Rowe. And Saka combining now.
You can see about that space that we talked about in behind is where Indominator will like to operate here. But you can see just likes to retain the ball as well. And now that defensive shift now from Manchester United has now kind of formed up at the back, it kind of slows that progression.
Just have a feeling that Killszu might be working a lot of his offense on the counter-attack here. Real chance with Sancho into the feet of Martial, but Jorginho is on the cover duty at the back. Good pressure by Killszu, though. The press is working in his favour, and Bruno Fernandes is here for the opener! Half an hour gone. United strike first in the English derby. Killszu 1, Indominator 0.
3 words. What a pass. Fantastic find from Killszu to break the deadlock here. We'll see it again on the replay. Again, recovers the ball, and we talked about it in transition. They like to attack, as does most of the French players. A wonderful first-time through ball. Bruno Fernandes finds the strike. Ramsdale couldn't get a hand to it, and Manchester United have the lead.
Nothing Ramsdale could do about this. Just shifted towards his near post. But Killszu strikes first here in what is only his 3rd goal of the season so far. We're used to a lot more attacking, or rather goal output from that young Frenchman after taking the league by storm the last couple of years, but been a slow start for him.
The only thing I would say as a word of warning to Arsenal fans out there is once he gets in, Killszu.
Martial, though, does win the ball back, and Sabitzer could make it 2. Oh, it's a wicked deflection there. 10 minutes from half-time, Wes, and maybe it just couldn't come soon enough here for Arsenal as Indominator now tries to piece an attack of his own. Saka. Martinelli capitalises on the mistake. And the equaliser is there. It's heartbreak. I think it's Varane at the back for Killszu. Just too heavy of a touch. And it is a gift for Indominator. 1-1.
Yeah, you have to, when those chances come your way, when you read the bad touches that you'll see within eFootball, you have to take those chances. And again, we'll see it here. We'll just double check. I believe it was, yeah, you are correct. It was Rafael Varane. But it's that bad touch, but it's a read. It's reading the bad touch that's going to happen. You have to put the ball in those scenarios. And from an Indominator standpoint, he won't care how it's gone in. He has an equaliser. He won't care that it came from a slice of luck or a bad touch. He just knows he's got the ball across the line and it's 1-1. It's
a great strike from Martinelli. See Killszu just so disappointed in Varane's touch there. But it is 1 apiece, and that's confirmation. 7 goals on the season now for the Dutchman. As Sabitzer tries to reinstate United's lead. That goal of Indominator takes him joint first in the goal-scoring charts league-wide. Few minutes until half-time, and United trying to go on the offensive.
There will be 1 minute added time.
Tierney inside now to Jorginho. Will the last attack of the half come Arsenal's way? And what will it result in? Fernandez doing good work in the midfield, and we'll enter half-time. United 1, Arsenal 1.
I think United will be slightly aggrieved to be going in their level, looking at how they're playing. Listen in.
Absolutely, we can take a listen to some of the players there on the stage. Still pretty calm all round. No real show of emotion from either side just yet, as no changes either as we kick off the second half here of game number 1.
I think both players at both teams trust their game plan. They trust their plan A. They think, you know, okay, we've got an opportunity here to get another goal, as we see Sabitzer trying to roll the ball through there to Martial.
It's a nice idea, but just a little bit too short in the end, and, well, Killszu. His press is working well, but it can leave him a little bit exposed at the back here as Saka loses his man as well inside. What's he going to do with this one? Indominator! Martinelli with the strike. It'll come back at them here, will it? No, Fernandez will recover. I think Indominator wanted that one to just roll for a corner, and, well, it could be his demise here as Martial wrestling with Tierney. The Arsenal defence, though, sure at the back.
Yeah, doing really well there. You can see in transition, the quicker you can move the ball, and if you can skip out a couple of phases, you can really put the defence, or your opponent's defence, on the back foot, as we're seeing from both players there, both trying to attack and both trying to ask a question of their defence. Or what can you do? Can you sustain, or can you block this attack out? And instead, we're seeing it's going end to end at this point.
Some really good defensive reads from both players up there on the stage. Killszu, especially for Manchester United, has been trying to press early. You can see the possession statistics in Arsenal's favour, but every time Killszu gets the ball, he does look to carve open that Arsenal defence. Martinelli now. Inside to Smith Rowe, that's a ball. It'll be a corner. Smart save by David De Gea.
Good bit of patience there by Indominator. Gave Killszu the look of going, well, we might go to Jesus here. You'll see it. Jesus goes offside. Instead, he waits for the comeback and then plays the pass. It's those little margins that you look for within eFootball. And these players, as we said before, there are no easy games here, and there are players that are very highly tuned and highly talented. They will be looking for those little differences.
See that little grimace there from Indominator. He knew that was a chance to take the lead. Now some Manchester United changes. As this corner on the hour mark, I believe, about to come in. Both players here coming in after a match day 2 win. You sense neither would be too happy with a draw here. Saka. He's tackled fairly, as judged by the referee. And look at this United break. Members over on that far side, but right now it's Martial wrestling in the midfield. Fernandez. Unfortunate touch there. And now seeing Indominator bring the ball away. Saka near side. Good read once again by Killszu. And it's back and forth here. Both players willing to let the brakes off. Martinelli into the feet of Smith Rowe here in the box, and that one I think will roll for a corner.
It's those moments of indecision, not quite sure whether we need to play a pass. Do we need to shoot? do we need to press? What are these moments, as we said before? It's going to be here. If there is a game winner or a deadlock breaker here, it's going to either be a moment of brilliance or it's going to be a moment of madness. It's going to be one or the other that will break these two, because both players seemingly are kind of cancelling each other out in that midfield battle. We spoke so eloquently about it on match day 2 in terms of how important that defensive midfielder position is. When you've got Casemiro and you've got Partey, both are able to break up play in that area that players love to play in.
Subs are on.
Coming on the field.
Corner is cleared.
Number 36.
Trossard and Alanga, the
Substitution.
members entering play. And well, this will be a free kick, I think, in a very enticing position indeed. Dominator might fancy hitting this one. It's always a game of stick or twist if you're on the defensive side of a free kick from this kind of range, because players at this level do enjoy playing it short and trying to catch the defence off guard. It is Jesus, steps up, goes low. 20 minutes to go, and it's another Arsenal corner.
Yeah, you can see Indominator, the pressure is just starting to ramp up a little bit here for Killszu. He's got to maybe try and get a chance down the other end here, because all the chances second half have gone to Arsenal.
Towards Jesus was the corner. Oh, very difficult defensive position there for United, and Wan-Bissaka gratefully has green grass to run into here. Jorginho inside. Martinelli, lovely touch there to Jesus! Improvised finish! And Indominator's in the lead, 15 to go.
We have said it so much about that touch you'll see before that pass. It can either really go in your favour or it can really go against you. In this fantastic goal, and in terms of improvisation, again, sliding on the challenge, you'll see this touch again. It's not something that is triggered by the player, it's triggered by the actual in-game item. Takes that turn and is then able to find a finish. It's a brilliant goal from Indominator.
It's the turn that makes it just here inside.
Takes it completely out of the game there.
And then the defenders, Wan-Bissaka, I think. We saw on the replay, we'll see it here in a minute. Killszu absolutely incensed that his defence weren't able to get anywhere near that. He's dumbfounded, but there's still 15 or so in-game minutes to try and get an equaliser here. Eight goals for Indominator, now the outright goal-scoring leader.
Certainly is. And this, even more so than the personal accolade, this would be a big 3 points if you can seal this out.
Saka, could it be 3 here? Martinez is able to make a nice recovery challenge, but Killszu, you can hear it there on the stage where it's just getting a little emotional right now.
Needs to keep his cool. He'll still have chances here. Alanga.
Here is a
Fernandez.
chance as Martial almost the beneficiary there. 5 in-game minutes to go, and I'll tell you what, to Indominator's credit, still chasing more goals. Tomiyasu. Approaching the 90th minute. What can Killszu bring? Varane joining the attack. Tomiyasu, though, with a very strong and commanding challenge. A minimum of 3 added on. And that is what separates Indominator from a valuable 3 points here.
It's not long left on the clock either.
Not long at all. And Tomiyasu might fancy himself here as Trossard with a stunning strike. It's wide of the target. Almost finishing in a flourish.
Almost there for the Belgian. Again, really good work down that right-hand side from Indominator. A little bit of kind of bait and switch. It was very much the balls in the cup and trying to hide where he was going to go next with it. and it managed to provide that opportunity for Arsenal, just didn't quite get the right angle. We're looking at it here, 10 seconds to tick over here. If it's gone over halfway, there might be one more opportunity here.
But no, Arsenal win the ball and win game number 1. A massive 3 points and a massive performance by Indominator. He will take the cake, 2-1 and 3 points to the Gunners.
That is a big 3 points. That is a big, big 3 points for Arsenal. Again, builds on that momentum that they showed on Matchday 2. Almost a pick up where you left off type of performance there from Indominator. Yes, there wasn't 5 goals, but once he had got that second goal, didn't really feel like he was then going to lose it from there. And as we saw Killszu's reactions and the animation, yes, granted, it's great to see, but sometimes you need to keep your cool in those moments because there were still opportunities there. If you're not, if you are in an emotional state when you're playing at this level, you sometimes don't provide your best performances.
Well, you took the thoughts out of my mind there. You can see the confirmation. Game 1 goes 2-1 in favour of Arsenal. If you're just joining us for the first time here on Matchday 3, we play 3 games, 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, none, of course, for a loss. So still potentially 6 points here for Manchester United to pick up, or of course a further 6 points for Arsenal. But around the 75th minute mark, you're thinking, well, there's still 15 in-game minutes here to play. Yes, sure, you've just conceded, but potentially a slip-in mentality there for the young Killszu.
Yeah, and he got off to such a good start. We saw the clip there of Bruno Fernandes, but it was, again, if you're talking about moments in a game, you have the bad touch from Varane for the first goal, and then the second goal was, again, the brilliant kind of roulette animation that took it away from the defender. And then there was the lack of, or almost a non-clearance from Wan-Bissaka, and then Jesus is in to score 2-1. So it's those moments that define it. And of course, for you guys watching at home, you may think, oh, well, it's only 1 game of eFootball they're playing. These guys prepare for this for weeks, months on end. And it's almost a little bit unfortunate for them that they have 1 game and then there's the next match day. So if you don't come away with points, you then become the talking point.
It's another 2 weeks until you get a chance at redemption. Speaking of a chance of redemption here, you've seen our players taking the hot seat next for both Arsenal and United. It's Austriabutch for the Gunners, the North London club, of course. No points to his name so far this season. And when you consider where Arsenal are, both in the table and in the goal-scoring charts in the form of Roxa and Indominator, you're looking at Austria and you're thinking, well, if he can hit the ground running here, Arsenal are going to be a real force this season.
Absolutely, and intriguingly is what you said, no points taken for Austriabutch so far, but critically for me, there's no goals so far from Austriabutch. He hasn't hit the back of the net. Now, as we said, if they can solve that riddle, and if Austriabutch can find that level that we know he is capable of, let's not forget, runner-up with Poland in the Euro 2021, knows how to get his way around a game of eFootball. If he can find that level again, then we'll be having a different discussion in regards to Arsenal. It won't just be, oh, well, he's had no goals. It'll be, okay, he's now turned up.
Well, as you can see, moments away from kick-off once more, and that redemption story just keeps on going to the other side here for Manchester United as well. Lotfi, multiple-time winner of this competition. And that's a brilliant potential start to the game here. I was going to say just 1 point to his name so far. He's got 3 goals, make that 4. It's 1-0.
That is an unreal start for Lotfi in terms of how quickly that ball moved and how brilliantly it was found across. You may have heard at the broadcast at home, the groans in the gallery, they knew what that ball was like to Bruno Fernandes. Fantastic ball, but then the wherewithal again to not pull the trigger and instead find that pass across, and Marcel Sabitzer being the guy to pop it into the back of the net. And again, a quick thing to bring you up to speed in relation to why you see Sabitzer so far up the field. That's a collective strength kind of tweak that Manchester United go with. If you put him in his secondary position, he costs a little bit less to put into your squad, but he's always that effective.
Yes, an excellent point you raise, Wes, because these players in the eFootball Championship Pro have a collective strength limit as Arsenal search for almost an immediate equaliser. There's 4 goals on the season, confirmation of that for United's Lotfi. But any economical switches you could make in terms of collective team strength is going to be potentially the difference maker at this level. Gabriel with a pass back to Ramsdale, and well, Austria's season so far not going to plan at all. Long ball to Sabitzer with the knockdown towards Martial. The longer this goalless drought goes on for Austria, the more pressure is going to be applied onto him. Makes me feel a little bit cruel as a commentator, but when you look at his results so far, no goals, 2-0 loss to Roma's Irma, 1-0 loss to Inter's Arda Golazo.
You'd say probably on the balance of those two results, you wouldn't necessarily say that they were the more difficult games to involve yourself in. That's not to discredit Irma and Arda. Of course, they are both, you know, fantastic players. But you wouldn't necessarily say Roma and Inter would, especially from the VTs that we heard in Matchday 2 and Matchday 1, talking about Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester United. They weren't really a team that, those two teams weren't really teams that were earmarked.
I think that's Fred going into the referee's book there, and so early on here in the game, that could be one to watch a little bit later on down the line. But it does make me feel a bit cruel, and believe me when I say it breaks my heart, because we'll be overjoyed once Austria does break his duck, because we know it will happen. He's certainly a calibre of player to score goals at this level. While I'm talking though, the ball kicked into touch, and it's an Arsenal corner. Nketiah straight at the keeper. Good chance though from Austria.
Yeah, a little bit of a confidence booster there just to get a shot there to sting the hands of the goalkeeper. It's going to need a little bit more than that though to get into the back of the net, and more importantly to get back into this game.
Good one-touch football here from Lotfi. Party with the retrieval, and now Trossard can maybe find Jesus, and Nketiah's on the overlap here as well. Varane's coming across. He's gone straight for goal there. Certainly caught me off guard. No other real options on. Lotfi now almost springing into an immediate attack, but 25 gone, and the ball will hang around the midfield mark. This is Rashford. This one will be a United throw, and so far Lotfi, and I think United fans, the 50% of them who of course think the Red Devils will come away with a win here, will be happy with Lotfi's work so far. Nketiah though, that one might just be a little bit too long. Martinez is called into action. It will be another Arsenal corner.
Yeah, so you can see Austria's building to try and get these opportunities here, and maybe it feels as though a set piece might be the best place to do it. But at the moment, it's just not quite got that finishing touch that we are so used to seeing from Austriabutch.
Odegaard. Back to him now. Jesus was almost thinking about getting in there, and well, Lotfi not happy about something, and I'll tell you why. It's an Arsenal free kick just inside the D.
He's not happy with the referee by the sounds of it, but again, Arsenal won't care if they can profit from it.
Goes for goal under the wall! Oh my! That is something special, and what a way to break your duck. Austriabutch, he is on the board. Arsenal 1, United 1 in game 2.
If you kept your eyes peeled there, he baited his opponent massively, because not only does he switch to a player after he's powered up the shot, it gives your opponent the idea of, oh, okay, he's going to pass this. He's not, we can jump the wall. Oh, no, you can't, because he's just popped it underneath the wall and took everybody by surprise.
Including me. I was fully expecting the player on that far side. And what a relief that goal will be for Austriabutch on the board now. Lotfi knows he's been sold a dummy.
think he was still remonstrating about the referee call, but once that's been and gone, you have to kind of put that in a box and put it away. You've got to get back onto task here.
Trossard now. Austriabutch looking to build from that amazing piece of improvisation. Trossard, lovely touch inside. There's Jesus waiting! Into the lead! The 1-2 punch! Arsenal in front now.
Welcome to the competition, Austriabutch. We've missed you. Fantastic bit of improvisation. Again, just finding... It was those small touches. Well, for the people at home who won't see this, I constantly tap the screen as to where I would pass it. So when he receives the ball here, I'm going, pull it back to the edge, pull it back to the edge. And no, actually, I can just take it in. And Gabriel Jesus is waiting within 6 yards. And again, giving somebody of Jesus' caliber that type of real estate, he's not going to miss from there. Brilliant play from Austriabutch, and Arsenal have a lead.
He can see what it means to his teammates. They know the potential in Austriabutch and what he is capable of, finally showing it now on the big stage. Second goal of the season in this game alone. Could it be 3? Odegaard almost in behind. 5 minutes to go till half-time, and we said this would be a redemption story one way or another. All of a sudden, the script has completely flipped. Lotfi shouting about something, not very happy at all. Needs to keep his eyes focused on the game, though. The fans are split down the middle. Ketia, Jesus with a snapshot. Corner to come.
And you heard the audible groans there from Arsenal. They knew that that was a big opportunity, and it was a big save there from David De Gea. But the danger is not finished yet. And that would be the worry if you're a Manchester United supporter, is that a danger's not over.
The danger is in the form of a corner. Make that 2 now.
Really change the team talk if there is a goal here.
Front post to Gabriel. Odegaard, Trossard. Strikes from distance. Sure should recover that one. Final chance of the half potentially here for United. It's about to tick over to the 3rd minute. Ball cannot go backwards though, Lotfi, and that one will be a disappointing end of the half, I feel, for Manchester United. Arsenal 2, United 1.
And we'd like to inform you now that the latest travel information is currently being...
It's always good to just take a snapshot of the... You may not necessarily understand the language if you are watching at home, but you certainly understand the body language and the behaviours, and you can tell that Manchester United are not happy with how this game has gone. And I'd say relatively so. Once that first goal goes in from Arsenal, and then there's a kind of almost a counter punch that then goes in to make it 2-1. Here's Rashford though.
Lotfi now. Has a chance to turn those emotions into jubilation. He needs to get some offensive work on the go, though. That's a really nice touch there by Odegaard, looking for Jesus, and Ketia's there to get the scraps, and Trossard is there as well! Austriabutch on a hat-trick has scored! Arsenal 3, United 1! What a way to break your duck.
We asked for a response on match day 2. We asked for, can we see something from Austriabutch? And my word, have we seen something here. 3 goals to 1. Manages to recycle the ball, keeps his calm. If we cast your mind back from previous ones we saw from Austriabutch, one of his almost video game superpowers is keeping his calm. Keeps that composure in the vital moments, and he finds the back of the net. And it is now 3 goals to 1 for Arsenal. You can see there, it's almost a sense of relief, it almost feels like. It feels like he's just relieved that it's gone in, rather than actually expecting it to go in. He's just happy that it's there. And of course, on the flip side, you can see Manchester United, a little bit of disarray, and the ball's in again.
Arsenal is coming forward again. Jesus! Oh no, where's it going? Cleared away. Almost catastrophic. Lotfi's laughing, but...
Could have gone anywhere, that could have.
I tell you, if that went in, there would be no smiles whatsoever. Trossard. This one has lit up like a powder keg here. Austriabutch 3, Lotfi 1. Still time here in the second half, though, for Lotfi to get back into this one.
We've said this before as well, in terms of players or in-game items matching up against one another. It's the case of, can Jesus, as we are seeing here, can he keep going against this Manchester United defence? Trossard makes his way in.
Yeah, linking up, and that one was another one that could have gone anywhere.
But it's more so that back line. Can that handle that Trossard, Martinelli, Jesus?
Well, interestingly, Lotfi here, can't tell if it was him triggering the pause, but no controller in hand, talking to the referees about something. This is very curious. Never seen a player just take it almost as a tactical timeout.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be great to get an insight into the body language there, but it's very defeated. And in reality here, if you look at the situation of the game, still 13 game minutes here. We have seen turnarounds in games throughout the course of the eFootball Championship Pro history where they can change very quickly. We only had to look back to Matchday 2 with Merriman and with Roxa in terms of how back and forth that game became. It's not over. You can't sit there and kind of say, well, it's over, it's done with. Like, there's still time on the clock here.
4-3 that one ended on Matchday 2.
It did.
3-1 here in the English derby. Arsenal corner. Odegaard. Oh, Gabriel still in there! Not the player Arsenal fans would have liked to have had the shot, but still a shot nonetheless. And you can see, not only when we talk about Roxa's win against Merriman, that 4-3 blockbuster game, 3 points picked up there. You see in game 1 as well, 3 points to the Arsenal. Arsenal are looking a real threat this season if it stays this way. Lotfi trying to break down the Arsenal defence, so far unsuccessfully.
Yeah, as we said, if you've got two kind of blockbuster players in Roxa and Indominator that can come to the fore, and you add a third player to that, and then you add that kind of additional fire and that additional backup, it's going to give them confidence to be even better, but then also it will provide Austriabutch with that confidence to say, hey, actually, I can hang with these guys, and this is where I belong.
Chance for United now. Into the feet of Martial. Tries to feed Bruno Fernandes. He's there and he's won it. Fred is on the ball, double touch towards Rashford, but suffocating is the word that comes to mind for the Arsenal defence. Martial almost getting in behind as well. 20 to go.
And one more wrinkle we hadn't even considered, we haven't even mentioned this. This is Austriabutch up against his old former team. So, again, adds a little bit more of a personal kind of slant to it. We saw on Matchday 2, Alex Alguacil going up against his old team and how much that allowed him to go and kind of express himself. This very similar situation.
Oh, that's an interesting ball indeed. Rashford is there. Sabitzer as well. It's 3-2. The secondary striker Sabitzer with his second on the day sees us with a very interesting final 15 now to come. It is Arsenal 3, United 2. And out of nowhere, Lotfi is back in this one.
It's not over till it's over, folks. That's the whole side of this that we've been trying to see. As we see, Sabitzer taps in at the back post. Again, it came from that Luke Shaw cross that wasn't really dealt with properly by the goalkeeper. And as a result, it allows Lotfi the opportunity to get an opportunity, and you have to convert. But it's 15 in-game minutes here. This is that key period now. What's it going to be? Is it going to be win, lose, or draw? We're about to find out here.
Number 5 for Lotfi. Question for United fans is, will there be a number 6? Oh, that's a mistake though. Odegaard has a couple of red shirts to aim for in the middle. Nketiah is there, but that is a vital intervention by Luke Shaw. Still coming here for Arsenal as well. Nketiah has Martinez for company. Jesus is there! Oh, what a chance. So close for an Arsenal fourth.
There's a little bit of swagger there back in Austriabutch's attacking prowess and his attacking ability. Seemingly recycled the ball in a very dangerous area. Again, if you are Manchester United, you're probably wanting to clear that ball a lot more effectively than giving it away just outside your own penalty area. And as such, it's giving away a corner. And again, 10 in-game minutes left. It's gonna be a little bit delicate here now as to what happens next.
Well, let's take a listen.
Substitution on the field.
Well, the tone shift is evident
Number
to
17.
everyone watching. All of a sudden, with that second goal, Lotfi now has that little bit of
Coming on the
belief.
field is
Has a corner to defend first, though. Nketiah might get there first. Smith Rowe, there's a body of players, a real forest in there.
Had to get that blocking because that could have gone anywhere.
Austriabutch still coming. Smith Rowe shrugs off Lindelof. Inside with a double touch as well. Jesus waiting. Varane leaps the highest. Oh, lovely ball to Sabitzer. Fernandez will recover here as well. Come back to Sabitzer here. Is there a third? Rashford! Oh, no, no, no! No, no, no.
Manual goalkeeping. I'll help you try and collect yourself while we're there. Manual goalkeeping, tips it on to Rashford. Rashford, with that vital touch from the goalkeeper, didn't have the purchase on it to get it into the back of the net, and instead you heard groans from here, there and everywhere.
Lotfi still laughing about it. We're into the 90th now, stoppage time. That is heartbreaking. It's happened to the best of us.
It's moments, as we said, it's moments that define the game. And that tip from Aaron Ramsdale was enough to take it away from Rashford, but there is still a chance here.
Final attack of this game, number 2. That's a tactical foul, you'd say, by Gabriel.
Giving away last opportunity here, though. And again, if Manchester United decide to send the bodies forward here, this could cause a little bit of chaos. It's De Gea that's going to take the kicks. So everybody's going forward now.
Game 1 went Arsenal's way, 2-1. One last attack to defend here from United, and there you go. It is another 3 points. His first goal, his first points of the season. Austriabutch has introduced himself. Took a little while here on Matchday 3, but he has now announced himself to the rest of the league. Lotfi, though, so close, agonisingly close to that equaliser.
Had Ramsdale not got the tip, I can understand why everyone is probably looking there saying, well, how has Rashford missed that? But when we watch it back on the replay, there's the faintest of fingertip saves from Ramsdale that basically puts that ball not where Rashford thought it was going to be. And as a result, that's that difference maker. As we'll see it again here. But again, fantastic performance from Austriabutch. Got his first win on the board, got his first goals on the board, and gets that monkey off the back.
Well, it started out doom and gloom, didn't it? With that early, I think it was 2nd minute goal, but then that stroke of brilliance to go under the wall sold everyone in the building.
Even me as a pundit, I don't think I'd see it.
I honestly did not expect that. I was looking for the man on the run. Lotfi, no doubt, was doing the same. And then from that to turn this one home as well with Jesus, a real target man for Arsenal, and Austriabutch putting it into good effect there in the first half.
Yeah, and again, as I said at the time, I was tapping for the pullback to the edge of the box, and instead he found a brilliant ball into the centre of it instead. And we just saw it kind of, you saw, as we said, that kind of pause from Lotfi, that was where that mentality kind of shifted, and you could see that there was that unease at that point. And as soon as he kind of, as you said, you saw a controller down and chats to referees, and you know, as great as that is, or as as good as you think it might be useful, reality of the situations, it kind of gives your opponent an extra goal because it's essentially well, I know I'm in your head at that point.
Absolutely, Austriabutch there with his third. And of course, the moment we're all waiting for, and I really hope replay's got this, they must have. Of course, we saw a second from United. That one really could have gone anywhere. That could have been 4 for Arsenal, but once you get the second back from Lotfi, again, just lamenting his luck slightly. There's the second. You're thinking, all right, 15 to go.
Yep.
There's a real chance, but, well...
It's a shame that it's not been caught by the highlights, because we can see that by process of elimination, it's Roxa versus Nexa.
It's enough time to dwell on the past a little bit later on, but as you say, we have a game number 3 between these two English giants. Nexa for United to try and do what his two compatriots weren't able to do in games 1 and 2 and secure at least a point on the board here for United.
Yeah, and again, you know, we talk about how rare it is for a 9-0 scoreline. It's only ever been done once, and that was on match day 1 between AC Milan and Inter Milan.
Arsenal going for the clean sweep then. Roxa, who entered today as the joint leading goal scorer throughout the league. So if you're a United fan, you're really worried about the man with a big old smile on his face right now, sat opposite your team on the stage. We often speak to eFootball Championship Pro clubs and players in the dressing room, so to speak, in the practice room as we kick off game number 3. Oftentimes they're really happy when they come away with a minimum of 4 points. It's a sensible goal to set from each match day, because then you're guaranteeing you're taking points away from other teams. Arsenal so far with 6.
Yeah, and again, if it then extends to 9, again, that's a very different prospect. But you can hear above us, you can hear who the rest of the eFootball Championship Pro teams are rooting for here. You can hear every chance of an Arsenal goal, they are lauding it with excitement.
Odegaard with a long ball towards Trossard. It's such an interesting psychological game when you consider the back-to-back-to-back games we have here, because Nexa has been sat on the sidelines studying exactly what Arsenal have been doing to pick apart his two teammates in games 1 and 2. And now it's about if he can put it into practice. Trossard, though, wins the ball back. Jesus versus Varane's an interesting one. Jesus will get the ball back. Can he pull the trigger? He can, but it's only a corner.
Want to keep your eye on here as well in relation to Roxa. We know he's very vocal when he plays.
There's Roxa's corner towards Tomiyasu. Cleared away.
Yeah, he's very much one to try and get in the opponent's head in both pre, mid and post game. Of course, Nexa, as we've heard already, also showing that volume.
Partey arriving, that's a strong hand. And headed back towards him, David De Gea. Just keep an eye on those player cams, as you say, Wes. Whenever Roxa is looking towards our right-hand side, it means he's looking towards Nexa and the Manchester United bench. Speaking of, they're coming forward here, Martial. Can't connect with Rashford.
Yeah, it's one certainly to keep your eye on. As we saw last week in relation to Inter Milan, in terms of their performances, it was constantly, every time a goal went in, it was looking over at them, trying to almost stare a hole in them.
Well, real chance here for Nexa of United, but Kieran Tierney covering well there. And what can Roxa produce now? Odegaard. Jesus to Partey. Coming forward again, Roxa here. Jesus, Smith Rowe, double touch, can't fool Wan-Bissaka though. One ball inside towards Anthony Martial. That's a difficult ball to control. Now Nexa's chance to attack as Rashford can't get past Kieran Tierney. Just cancelling each other out at the moment. That's a good ball though to Jesus. Has a man over on that far side. It was Smith Rowe. Trossard will collect the ball. Well, De Gea has made a bit of a mess of that, and Trossard recovers, beats his man as well. Versus Fernandes now. Odegaard versus Casemiro. The latter steals the ball away, and well now, defence into attack potentially. Very frenetic pace we're setting here. Trossard waiting for the ball. Will he go for goal?
So hard to see where that ball ended up.
Now Sabitzer. To the feet of Fernandez. I hope our fellow eFootball Championship Pro players are watching this game, because this is the standard so far here in match one that we want to see. Trossard now on the near side towards Odegaard arriving, and that one very, very wide.
As a player that you'd want heading the ball, Martin Odegaard, probably not top of your list if you're a fan of Arsenal, but in terms of the way that this game is building currently, it's all Arsenal. It's all Roxa. In terms of Roxa's real estate of the field, it's all going towards that Manchester United goal. It's going to need something special from Nexa just to break that resolve, because again, to put some confidence or to knock the confidence of a player, you're going to have to make them respect you.
Just looking at the contrasting body languages between the two sets of players there on the stage. Arsenal in Roxa and Indominator, all smiles, very happy, very relaxed. On the other side, Nexa looking very strained, and well, some defence to put into practice here as Smith Rowe trying to beat Varane. Inside to Odegaard, Trossard as well, beats Casemiro! Oh yes, what a goal that is! Roxa opens the scoring in quite some fashion.
That is absolutely sublime. In terms of the feints, and again, you know, we could talk very technically about this, but you can see on the screen, just trying to just unseat Nexa's defence in terms of what is he going to do next. There were super cancels, there was tricking players. You see there the footwork there from Smith Rowe. Again, neat back heels. It's that key touch there. Takes the defender away from the controlled strike. Instead puts it the other side. Fantastic finish there from Roxa.
Lovely back heel, but there's still work to be done with the finish, because it's at De Gea's near side, and even Roxa, he's pretty happy with that one. Of course, you're going to be happy no matter how the ball goes into the net. But, well, United here straight away with Martial. Fernandez arriving. Almost an immediate reply.
Manual goalkeeping is required, and we heard it said so much at Matchday too. You are always at your most vulnerable when you've just scored a goal. And again, great save there, and again, great defensive work from Killszu to get that one cleared. Arsenal going to have to be careful here.
And they are, as it's a United corner in swinger. Headed down to Sabitzer. Martial there as well. Strong save by Aaron Ramsdale. Confirmation Roxa, 8 goals on the season. Ramsdale punches again here. Joining his teammate Indominator as joint scoring leaders so far, and there's a chance for more. On board to Jesus, follows it in as well, but good defending by Nexa.
Yeah, you can see there the confidence of Roxa just coming through. And what I like about Roxa, having spoken to him, as we said, we talk to them in mixed zones and in practice areas. He loves to just strike the ball. He just wants to hit it. As soon as he's got an opportunity to shoot, he will just shoot. And that, again, will bode to be something that United need to watch out for here. You don't want to give him too much of a sight at goal, because he's not frightened to shoot.
Half-time rapidly approaching here. Just the 1 minute added on. Nexa with a chance to finish the half strong, but I believe the referee might just blow his whistle here as Varane retains possession, and there it is, half-time. Roxa 1, Nexa 0. Just take a look at the cameras. Second half underway. Roxa looking to start strong here. Jesus was just waiting, licking his lips at that potential opportunity. For all this good effort from Roxa, the silver lining for United fans is that, yes, it is a long way to go, but it's also only the one goal.
It is only the one goal, and it's sometimes it is the most delicate lead to hold within eFootball. Again, you don't want to be too passive with your possession, but at the same time, you want to try and extend your lead.
Trossard to Ødegaard, back to him now. Goalkeeper called into action once more. Roxa's looking really good for his money here.
And he's certainly trying to get that secondary goal just to get that little base that he'll need to just be happy and know that if one goal does go in, okay, well, it'll be 2-1 at that point. Of course, danger is still not over here for Arsenal.
To be the outswinger here of Ødegaard towards Tomiyasu. Xhaka wins the ball back. Final third here for Arsenal as well, so very dangerous here for United fans. That's a delicious looking ball. Now's the chance for Nexa and United. Rashford was hoping that run of Martial wouldn't just steal his grasp, but unfortunately for them it did.
Yeah, it's just not got the runners ahead of him at that point, and that's where you could hear the kind of the groans of Nexa and of Manchester United. They know, or they saw in that instance, they did not have the runners going forward.
Well, Nexa needs to keep his head here because it's a 2-on-1 at the back. It's Jesus, he's got him out for support as well. It's Trossard! Vital save there by De Gea.
A little bit too cute from Roxa, a little bit too cute. Manual goalkeeping wasn't employed until that pass across. So you could see that big save, it wasn't required, but a little bit too cute. Just a little bit, but you can see the almost anguish on Nexa's face there.
What's wild is I'm pretty sure that replay is from before the counter-attack, so important to keep your head here if you're Nexa, still in this one.
The attendance for this match was
Past the hour mark
72,306.
now.
As you said already before, if you're in an emotional state at this level, it doesn't always bode well. Like we've seen players who get fired up, and that helps. But being in a almost well, everything's going against me type of phase, it doesn't really do anything for anybody.
Well, referee's happy to let play run there. Might work out in United's favour. Fred now. Martial back heel to Sabitzer, just cut out though by Granit Xhaka. There's Martial, Rashford! There's your equaliser! We said it! 1-0, such a dangerous scoreline. And Nexa head in hands, but he's back in the game.
That's what you have to do. At this level, you have to collect yourself, you have to compose yourself and find your best level. And in that instance, he has done. Fantastic bit of movement. And again, it's just something that's needed. Neat little kind of triangle football, allows you the ability to get the chance on. And again, somebody like Marcus Rashford, you're not going to give them many opportunities at that distance. And again, finds the back of the net, and United have an equaliser.
That's truly wonderful. Because it's so easy to lose your head at certain phases of the game. But to have that composure and have that wherewithal to find that extra pass, no doubt it will do wonders here for Nexa's mentality. You can hear from the communication. Full disclosure, I don't speak French, but it's gone from moans and groans to, okay, well, what can I do now to try and win this game?
It's amazing how a goal going in will change a discussion.
Goal number 4 sees United equalise the score here in game 3. 20 in game to go for a winner for either side. Sabitzer will steal the ball back here. There's United players over as Rashford tries to cut inside. Tomiyasu makes amends. Fred, though, has a chance to find Rashford. That's a very tame header.
Had to be cool there in defensive Roxa. Don't dive in, don't give away anything too cheap.
Well, he was defending moments ago, but now Roxa Who can he find? Jesus on the run. Good tackle by Tomiyasu. Do not blink here. Poised on a knife edge. That's a wayward ball though. Odegaard will win the ball back. Approaching the final 10 in-game minutes. Who can Roxa find? Odegaard with the strike. Vieira almost recovering. Now, final 10. Rashford with the double touch beats Tomiyasu. United throw in here in Arsenal territory.
Ah là je peux. Ah je peux. Ah c'est pour ça que je ne connais pas. Ok voilà. Ah ok. Je ne connais pas de.
Substitution for Arsenal. Number 8.
So we rejoin the action. Final 10 in-game minutes. United throw in.
Number 83.
You can see games 1 and 2's results at the top of your screens. And Roxa coming forward here. Vieira, ball to Jesus. Oh, almost snuck in. He had a perfect angle on it, Wes.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great find for one. And again, you have those choices. You could either try and head it back across goal and then hope that it was Trossard that's waiting there, or you can try and read a manual goalkeeping, which is exactly what Roxa tried to do there, and tried to sneak it into the near post. But goes for a corner. And you can see how close hit that was, and he knows the opportunity that was there.
Coming down to the business end of this game. Not down to Trossard. Jesus is there, and it's a winner potentially for Arsenal. Roxa back in front. It's Jesus. It's Roxa. It's Arsenal. 2-1.
Like we said, the danger is never over. If it goes for a corner, there is always time, and there's certainly with the ability of these two players, there is always a moment of danger that will come. And again, some slight ricochets in here. Again, the shot from Trossard deflected. Jesus reacts the quickest and heads it into the back post. It's advantage Arsenal, and potentially all 9 points could be going to Arsenal.
We've only seen it happen once so far this season. AC Milan on Matchday 1 in the Milanese derby. 9 points out of a possible 9. Only around 5 or so in-game minutes plus stoppage time separates the Gunners from joining AC in a very elite group. Number 9. Approaching the 90th minute here soon. De Gea has come a long, long way. Dare I say some somewhat sarcastic applause from the Manchester United players.
Well, certainly, but it won't do them any good at this point, because again, complaining about what's been and gone, it's pointless.
Got to keep your head in the game here. 90th minute, 4 minutes added on. Smith Rowe now. The beneficiary will actually decide he wants to keep the ball. Can't be Casemiro though, and do not blink here as Martial looks to try and find Sabitzer. Will Ramsdale get there? He will. And you just wonder whether or not that will be all the time ticked off of that clock. And it is 9 points from a possible 9 for Arsenal Football Club. Commiserations to Manchester United, because all games were so close, but today Arsenal showed that little bit of class. And they come out with all 9 points.
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic set of results, and I'm sure I'll pick up in a moment in the mix zone with Indominator. But again, fantastic performance from them. Really well-rounded performance.
Really well-rounded indeed, and I feel the big winner of it all, of course, Arsenal Football Club, but don't forget, Austriabutch prior to today, no points, no goals. I think he'll be very happy with today's work. We see him in picture there. That one will do him a world of good. Semra, what a incredible first match we had between the English derby. If the rest of the games start to go that way, then I can't help but feel we're going to be seeing me lose my voice for what would be almost a third time in this competition.
Well, I have to say, at least I saw you get to your feet, because clearly you were really into it, standing up while you were commentating this game. And I tell you what, there obviously is something about derbies. We saw it between the Milan derby and Matchday 1, where one side collected all 3 points in AC Milan, and today an all-English affair, and you see Arsenal with a clean sweep, and it's the first time, I think, ever that we've seen a team collect all 9 points in a season, and now it's happened twice.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's a great day to be a gunner, isn't it? Because now the virtual world is reflecting the real world, because Arsenal are top of the table at the eFootball Championship Pro, 18 points, and obviously in the Premier League, Arsenal are also leading the pack too.
Yeah, that's right, and as a direct rival fan of Arsenal, that's pains me to say, but you know what, I'm not biased
Sorry,
in
I'm just going to rub it in a
competition.
little bit more then, eh?
But 9 points out of a possible 9. They'll be over the moon, and you can probably hear at home some hoops and hollers from the studio here. It's because Arsenal absolutely delighted with that result, as they should be.
As they should be indeed, and I tell you what, Indominator, he was really impressive last time out, but I think he also did one better this time by scoring what they call in Spain a cowtail turn. Don't know if you remember this.
No.
La cola de vaca de Romario. Do you remember Romario at FC Barcelona?
I think it was maybe a bit before
I
my
think
time.
it was a bit before your time. Well, I've just aged myself there, but anyway, it was a beautiful goal, wasn't it? For me, it was probably a contender, the best goal of the day so far, but it was sensational from him, sensational for his teammates as well, as he really set the course that they were on to make sure that they got all 9 points.
Yeah, I think they are no doubt so happy. I mean, it's the perfect result. When you go into a match day, obviously you're thinking, you know, a perfect goal would be 9 out of 9, and you know, realistic, maybe 4 points. 9 out of 9, you're so happy. On the other side, of course, Manchester United, bit of work to do.
Yep.
Need to try and figure out their most effective team available, I feel.
All right, well, we'll see how they fare going forward and how they react to this heavy defeat for today. Wissa is with Indominator, the captain of Arsenal, after their hat-trick of wins for today. So let's get some insight as to how he feels.
Thank you very much, Semra. And of course, I am here with Indominator, captain of Arsenal. Congratulations, first and foremost, on a maximum points victory over Manchester United. It's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. It definitely feels good. On the other hand, when you're looking at the games, I think there's still loads of improvements watching at today's games. And yeah, the way we conceded the goals, I think those are the points we have to improve, because most of the time I think there were certain moments where the focus wasn't 100% from all 3 of us. And for me personally, the game, when I was leading 2-1, the game management was perfect. But on the other hand, when I'm watching my 2 teammates, this is something they can still improve, the game management, because when they were leading, sometimes they conceded a few goals unnecessary actually, but yeah, we're gonna work on that, and hopefully we can even perform better. 9 points is nice, but yeah.
Well, you called it as well, talking about your teammates. You know, we'll touch on with Austriabutch. How good is it to see him finally get off the mark?
It's very good, very important for us that he wins, also for his own confidence, of course. 9 points for the whole team. This will give an extra boost, and hopefully we can take this to the next match days as well. So.
Well, speaking of next match day 4, it's going to be against AS Monaco. How do you tackle that beast?
AS Monaco, yeah, the 3 times champion. It's always going to be tough. They got a wonderful play in the likes of Ousmane Kabyle. But yeah, we are the Arsenal. We got 3 amazing players, 3 amazing individuals, and hopefully we can perform as well over there. So
it's great to hear from you. So guys, that's from Indominator. Back to you guys.